Ever wondered how a simple leaf in hot water sparked a global obsession? From ancient Chinese emperors to British spies and now bubble tea influencers, tea has started revolutions, launched empires, and changed how billions of people live. So here's a wild story. Around 2737 BCE, Chinese Emperor Shen Nung was chilling under a tree, boiling some drinking water, because that's what emperors did for fun back then. Suddenly, a breeze blew some leaves from a nearby bush into his pot. Instead of tossing out this leafy accident, our curious emperor took a sip, and boom, he just invented tea. The leaves came from the Camellia sinensis plant, and that random cup of hot leaf juice turned out to be pretty amazing. The emperor noticed it made him feel energized and refreshed. Word spread fast, and soon everyone wanted to try this magical drink. Talk about a happy accident that changed the world. Think modern coffee snobs are intense. They've got nothing on ancient Chinese tea masters. These folks turned tea drinking into an art form way before it was cool. They spent years learning the perfect water temperature, brewing time, and pouring techniques. And get this, they could tell which mountain a tea came from just by tasting it. They wrote whole books about tea, created fancy ceremonies, and basically invented the world's first luxury drink culture. These tea masters were so respected, even emperors would shut up and listen when they talked about tea. They figured out different processing methods too, turning those basic green leaves into black, oolong, and white teas. Pretty much every fancy tea drink you enjoy today, you can thank these ancient tea nerds for that. Imagine carrying tea across mountains, deserts, and frozen wastelands for 16 months straight. That's exactly what traders did on the Tea Horse Road, a 1,400-mile journey that makes modern supply chains look like a walk in the park. They loaded up yaks with hundreds of pounds of tea bricks, literally compressed tea leaves worth their weight in gold. Why go through all this trouble? Because people were absolutely tea crazy. Tibet traded their best horses for Chinese tea, while Russia handed over precious furs and gold. One tea brick could buy you a sheep or feed your family for a month. These tea caravans faced bandits, blizzards, and deadly cliffs, but the payoff was worth it. Some traders got so rich they built entire cities with their tea money. You might think your morning coffee ritual is fancy, but wait till you hear about Japanese tea ceremonies. Back in the 1100s, Japanese monks brought tea from China and turned drinking it into something completely mind-blowing. We're talking about a ceremony so precise it can take decades to master. Every tiny movement matters, from how you fold the napkin to the angle of your wrist when pouring. The whole thing can last up to 4 hours. But here's the cool part. It's not really about the tea, it's about finding peace in a chaotic world. The ceremony room is super simple. Guests crawl through a tiny door. Yes, even if you're a super important samurai, and everyone's treated equally. It's like ancient Japanese mindfulness with caffeine. Let me tell you about one of history's greatest heists. In 1848, the British were totally hooked on tea, but China had a monopoly on the whole industry. They spent a fortune buying Chinese tea. We're talking millions in today's money. Enter Robert Fortune, a Scottish botanist turned spy. The East India Company hired him for a crazy mission: steal China's tea secrets. Fortune shaved his head, dressed up as a Chinese merchant, and snuck into forbidden tea regions. He smuggled out 20,000 tea plants and seeds, plus the secret processing techniques. He even convinced some Chinese tea masters to work for the British in India. It was basically the biggest corporate espionage operation of its time. And it worked. This heist completely changed the tea trade forever. Here's a crazy thought. The American Revolution kicked off because of tea. Back in 1773, the British were charging ridiculous taxes on tea in the American colonies. The colonists were furious. I mean, who likes paying extra for their favorite drink? So one night in Boston, a group of rebels dressed up as Native Americans, not their finest moment, let's be honest, and threw 342 chests of tea into the harbor. That's about $1.7 million worth of tea in today's money. They turned Boston Harbor into the world's biggest cup of salty tea. King George III was not amused. This tea tantrum sparked a chain reaction that led straight to the American Revolution. Talk about an expensive drink gone wrong. Let's get nerdy about why your brain goes nuts for tea. That warm, cozy feeling isn't just in your head. Well, actually, it is, but in a totally scientific way. Tea leaves pack 3 power player compounds: caffeine, L-theanine, and catechins. Caffeine wakes you up, but here's the cool part. L-theanine chills you out at the same time. It's like having a friend who energizes you but keeps you from bouncing off the walls. Those catechins? They're antioxidant superheroes, fighting off cellular damage like tiny bodyguards. And get this, researchers found that regular tea drinkers have better organized brain connections. So every time you sip that Earl Grey, you're literally rewiring your brain for the better. Fast forward to today, and tea culture has gone totally bonkers, in the best way possible. You've got street vendors in Taiwan inventing bubble tea that's now a global phenomenon. These creative geniuses mix traditional brewing methods with wild new ingredients. Meanwhile, luxury hotels hire tea sommeliers who can pair the perfect oolong with your dessert. Some of these modern tea masters are like rock stars, with millions of social media followers watching them create mind-blowing tea art. They're pushing boundaries, mixing tea with molecular gastronomy, and even making tea-based cocktails that'll blow your mind. It's not just about the drink anymore, it's a whole experience. Ready for the wildest plot twist in tea history? In the 1980s, a Taiwanese shop owner got bored with regular tea and thought, "You know what this needs? Chewy balls." They mixed black tapioca pearls with tea, creating what we now call bubble tea. The drink spread like wildfire through Taiwan's night markets, where vendors competed to make the craziest combinations. Soon, students were skipping lunch to get their boba fix. From fruit jellies to cheese foam toppings, bubble tea turned traditional tea culture on its head. What started in a small Taiwanese shop is now a $2 billion industry, with people waiting in hour-long lines just to get their hands on the latest bubble tea creation. Ready to have your mind blown about where tea's headed? NASA's already growing tea plants in space, testing how they might flavor astronauts' drinks on Mars missions. Meanwhile, AI algorithms are creating wild new tea blends by analyzing millions of flavor combinations. Some companies are using genetic editing to make tea plants more resistant to climate change, while others are developing smart tea that changes color based on your body's needs. My favorite part? There's this lab in Singapore using 3D printing to create personalized tea tablets. Just drop one in hot water and boom, you've got the perfect cup matched to your DNA. The future of tea isn't just high-tech, it's out of this world. Thanks for joining me on this wild journey through tea history. If you enjoyed this steep into the past, hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating stories. Share with your tea-loving friends, they'll thank you over their next cuppa.